Chapter 2, Destination Halifax. The line was dead, but the echo of Constance's scream still vibrated in the quiet River Heights parlor. Nancy jiggled the telephone hook frantically. "Operator! Operator! Connects me back to the Halifax Maritime Museum immediately! It's an emergency!" After 5 agonizing minutes of static and clicking wires, a cold voice returned. "I'm sorry, miss. The line to that exchange appears to have been physically severed." Nancy slammed the receiver down, her heart hammering against her ribs. She raced up the stairs to her bedroom, pulling her sturdy leather valise from the closet. The promise of a quiet summer was gone. She threw in her favorite tweed traveling suit, a warm wool coat for the unpredictable Atlantic weather, and, naturally, her trusty magnifying glass. An hour later, Bess Marvin was standing in the foyer, her eyes wide with dismay as Nancy zipped her boots. "Nova Scotia, Nancy? In June? You promised your father no more mysteries. And besides, I've heard Halifax is practically swallowed by thick, freezing fog this time of year. My curls will never survive it." "Constance is in real danger, Bess," Nancy said gently, grabbing her handbag. "I have to go. You stay here and keep father company." By nightfall, Nancy was aboard the eastward-bound steam train, the rhythmic clack-clack of the iron tracks doing little to soothe her racing mind. It was a grueling 2-day journey through the lush green forests of New Brunswick and down into the rugged, sea-swept peninsula of Nova Scotia. When the train finally ground to a halt at the Grand Station in Halifax, Nancy stepped out into a world wrapped in a dense, salt-heavy June mist. The scents of coal smoke and ocean brine filled the chilly air as she hailed a dark checkered taxi. "The Maritime Museum near the Waterfront, and please, hurry." The taxi rattled over the historic cobblestones of Water Street, pulling up outside a stately gray stone building that overlooked the foggy harbor. Nancy leapt out, paying the driver, and rushed up the stone steps. Inside, the museum was in a state of quiet shock. The grand exhibition hall, lined with model ships and vintage brass diving helmets, was roped off. Standing near a towering arched window was Constance, pale but unharmed, speaking to a local police officer. "Constance!" Nancy cried, rushing forward. "Nancy! Oh, thank heaven you're here!" Constance gasped, throwing her arms around her cousin. "I was so terrified when the line went dead." Constance explained that a masked intruder had smashed the archive window, just as she had called. The museum's night watchman had scared off the thief before anyone was heard, but the damage was already done. Constance led Nancy into the secure artifact vault, pointing a trembling finger at the empty velvet-lined display case. They didn't touch the gold pocket watches or the diamond cufflinks recovered from the wreckage. They knew exactly what they wanted. Nancy knelt, her sharp eyes scanning the floor beneath the shattered display. The water-stained leather valise was gone, but as she brushed her fingers at the edge of the mahogany table, she spotted a small, crumpled piece of paper caught in the floorboards, dropped by the thief in his haste. Nancy pulled out her magnifying glass, smoothing the paper flat. It wasn't a modern note. It was a yellowed, water-damaged page torn from a historic harbor ledger dated April 1912, stamped with a distinctive faded crimson ribbon. At the bottom of the page, scrawled in thick black ink were a series of numbers that looked remarkably like cemetery plot coordinates.